Hi, so my name is Stephanie and I've been spinning for quite a few years. I started when I was probably back in elementary school around fifth grade or so. I started off on a spindle that I got at Sturber's Village, and it went from there afterwards. I started doing wheel lessons, so it was really fast from going to spindle to wheel, and then I mainly learned on wheel. But now that I've gotten more into spinning, I've gotten back into some of these spindles, and a lot of this video is going to be kind of explaining how to use a Phang spindle, and also about some of the preferences I like about these spindles. So a Phang spindle can look like this, and it's got an elonged lower body, and it usually goes from a point and then it thickens and then goes into a smaller shaft. And this spindle is made out of birch, I believe. It was less than $20 or so from, I believe, Tina's Angoras on Etsy. If you go on Etsy, you can find a lot of different Phang spindles from different woodcrafters. This one has a really nice spin. It's decently heavy. It's a support spindle. Phangs are traditionally support spindles. And what you do is it's not like one of the ones that you twirl in the air and you have a tendency of, if you don't make your yarn strong enough, it dropping. This is spun in a bowl. I got this at a tea shop, but there's different support spindle bowls that you can get online if you want to do that. But basically, as long as you've got a flat surface, it tends to spin well in anything. And what you do is you do a spinning motion like this. Mine is pretty well balanced, so it has a really nice long spin. And it's not really fast, but since I've done a lot of spinning, it's fast enough for me, and I'm sort of an intermediate support spindler. I like support spindles because personally I don't like having to stand up, spin a length of yarn all the way down to the floor, pick up my spindle, wrap it on, and then repeat the process. I also am a little afraid of dropping my spindles, and that's not fun because you can break a spindle. These ones I feel I have more control over for me. I can sit and spin and watch TV, and what I like is that when I spin an arm's length of yarn, I sort of make a little miniature cop right here, and then I'll twirl it back up, and then when I feel like winding it onto my main cop, then I'll put it on there. These Phang spindles originated around the Himalayas by nomads. They're found in other parts around Asia, in Middle Asia. There's other support spindles. There's the Russian spindles. There's Tibetan spindles. There's Tokli spindles, which are from India. Those are usually used to spin cotton, and support spindles are usually used for small staple. So something that's no more than like an inch and a half long staple, but it doesn't mean that you exclude long stapled fibers altogether. I'm actually spinning, I believe it's a camel / alpaca blend. It's really nice and soft, but it is a longer staple, so you have to I prepare my fibers more so it's easier spinning them up. So basic motion of using your Phang is you're flicking. So you want to flick. And before you start spinning, you kind of want to do this for a good 5 to 10 minutes in your bowl just to get used to the motion. And it's okay if you accidentally drop your spindle. It tends to just flop onto your lap. Or if it does fall on the ground, it's not a huge fall. And this is pretty well built, sturdy. So I've never really broken a spindle before. That doesn't mean I will never do that. I can definitely do that. But so you start off just practicing your spin. And you kind of want to have it at an upright motion, but a slight tilt so you can get the rotations will add the spin to your yarn. So I have some prepared fiber. It's pretty loose because it's a longer staple for me. And I kind of use a fold method where I fold it around my finger. And I have my index finger pointing out. And I'll attach it like so, and then I'll put this actually down here while I spin. so you can sort of see me working on it. I like putting it in my lap usually. I usually don't do it on the table. But I'll add a decent amount of twist, and then I'll start drafting. And there's different methods. You can continually spin your spindle while you're spinning it in your lap. But some people, when you start off on support spindles, what they like to do is the spin and draft, where they'll spin a bit, they'll stop their spindle, and then they'll draft out their fiber. And then they'll add more twist and draft out more fiber. I'm sort of in between that, where I'll stop my spindle a bit, but I continually sort of draft my fiber out. And whatever makes you more comfortable about what you do is totally up to you. You just have to find what suits you for your spindles. My suggestion for Phangs is sort of like most support spindles. Get the hang of it. When you start winding on your cop, when you're first starting off, you definitely want to make it sort of tight around the body of the spindle, because there's nothing really to anchor your yarn on it. So you want to definitely twist it sort of tight, and once you start building a good cop and you are sure it's not going to slip around and it's secure, then you don't have to put it on as tight. But this is me, just how I like to spin with my spindles. And you know, if you're interested in it, or you're interested in spinning at all, spindles, which have been around longer than wheels, of course, to make yarn and textiles, is a really good way to be introduced into spinning the craft itself, because wheels cost a lot of money nowadays. If you want a good wheel, it's probably going to cost you at least $600 or so, depending on where you're getting them. If you're getting a well-known brand, it's definitely going to be expensive. So spindles are a nice way to test out spinning and see if you like it. But try different spindles, support spindles, the drop spindles, whatever spindle that suits your fancy. Also, if you can, tends to be a decent amount of people that offer spinning lessons on wheels, and that way you can test out a wheel yourself. But spindles have been around for a long time, and they can be quite productive. So if you just want to try something that's not overly expensive and just to get your hand on it, spindles are a great way to go. But see, I'm just spinning it along and adding twist to it. And then I kind of, at the end when I'm done drafting, I add a little bit more twist, and then I sort of just roll it onto my mini cop right here. And then that's how a basic start is. If you still have questions on how to start a leader, there's tons of videos on YouTube just for the introduction to spindles and stuff. There's a lot of other videos that are really great for watching. I believe Lisa from Gripping Yarn has a really good tutorial for support spindles because she makes them. I actually have a Russian spindle from her, and it's really great. But if you have any questions, send me a message. This is my first actual video ever before, so I'm really sorry about if it was being really wordy and is really fast. If you have any questions, again, let me know. I got this on Etsy. Etsy is a great place to find spindles and support small businesses. But I hope you enjoyed my little video and that it gave you some idea of how to use a Phang spindle and give you information. And once again, this is sort of an antique style of a Phang spindle, but there's lots of different shapes where they put the little the thicker part. They sometimes put it in the middle, put it at the end. But overall, it's a really nice way to learn how to spin, but there's so many different other spindles to try out. Have a wonderful day.